Hi, I'm Doug Massey. This is my second video on how to get the most out of IXL from the time that you have to use it. Okay, you've completed your diagnostic arena and you've reached all-star status. If you haven't, go back to the first video and do that first. But if you have, then your screen should look like this, all stars. You're ready to start patching up any holes that you have in your math education that might have developed over the years. Math is very cumulative, and you want to make sure to build any new knowledge upon a very firm foundation of understanding. So every day you sign in, the first thing you want to do is click on the diagnostic on the green bar, which will bring to this screen. In fact, I've got a flow chart that shows you just what to do when you start your day. That looks like this, and I'm going to have a link to it in the description of this video. So first thing you do is you click on diagnostic up on the green bar, and it pops up this screen over here. Fantastic. And then you look and see, am I all stars? If you are, great. If you're not, you go back into the arena and you practice that until you are. But let's assume that you're like this student and you're already an all-star, then you go here. Because what this has done is it's shown what subjects that you're pretty good at, like fractions, and what subjects you need a little work with, like algebra and measurement. And over here, the computer has already, through the diagnostic arena, found all sorts of great recommended skills for you to work on. But I don't actually want you to click on these right here. I want you to see all of these recommendations all at the same time, and you do that by clicking on Print Diagnostic Action Plan at the bottom. It doesn't print it to paper. It just pops up a new tab that will show you your diagnostic report. And so that looks like this right here. So this is a diagnostic report for the same student. You can see that the numbers are the same, 530, 570, 370, 610. 530, 570, 370, 610. So it's exactly the same information, except it shows you all of these recommended skills, and it shows you what grade they're from. So you can get a pretty good idea about which ones are hard and which ones are easy. So if we go back to this, there's a little comment here that says, are there any below grade skills in today's topic? That means, are there any easy skills in a particular topic that your teacher has recommended? It could be that your teacher says, hey, we're working on algebra today, so I want you to spend your time on the diagnostic page working on algebra scores. So sometimes algebra skills. Sometimes you're going to get that recommendation from your teacher. Other times, it'll just be kind of a free-for-all where you do your best. So let's go back to the other page. And if this student were working on anything that they want, then it looks like this third grade skill might be a good one to try, or maybe this third grade or this third grade skill, or maybe there's an even easier skill down below. But let's assume that this teacher wants us working on algebra and algebraic thinking. So what would we do? We would pick out the easiest one that we have listed there. And since there are two, this one and that one, you kind of get to choose. So we're going to assume that the student wanted to practice this skill right here. So you click right on those blue words, and it would pop up a new tab. And this is what this particular skill looks like. Now, anytime you're working on a new skill, and you can tell that you're working on a new skill because you haven't answered any questions before, and your smart score over here is a 0. Everybody starts at 0. That's totally okay. Anytime you start a new skill, you can click right up here on Learn with an Example, and it'll kind of show you what to do. So you're looking at this, you're like, oh, they want me to write this down on paper. That's a really good idea. That's always a really good idea. So, they're showing you kind of a different problem, but they say if the art club has more members than a debate club, but fewer members than the math club, of course, then they want you to line up, to write down debate club, art club, and then say, okay, fewer than the math club. You can put them in the order. And then you're ready to answer the question. Which club has the fewest members? The debate club. Close that, and now you're ready to answer your question. I can look at this and I say, hey, the station wagon is more expensive than the convertible. Let me write that down. Okay. But less expensive than the van. Aha, less expensive than the van. Which car was the most expensive? Clearly, it was the van. Right? The van? Am I right? I'm right. And you can tell I got some energy points over here. Not energy points. This isn't Khan Academy. You get an increased SMART score. So sometimes that goes up by 10 points, sometimes by 20, sometimes by 12. You'll get a lot of points early on, and then fewer points as you get higher. The goal, I will tell you right now, the goal is not to get to 100, even though it says right here out of 100. The goal is to get to 80. And the reason is that the number of points that you get for correct answers, it starts to fade away, starts to get smaller and smaller as you get higher and higher. Take 80 as your goal. You get 100% credit when you reach 80. The IXL software will treat this as a completed task, and you don't want to spend your time trying to get from 80 to 100. It's just not worth it. I'd much, much rather you go on to another skill and try to take that one to 80 instead. Okay, so what else can you do here? Well, let's see. Green shoelace is longer than the blue. The yellow is longer than the green. Which one is the longest? That's got to be the yellow. Did I get it right? Yes. Let's get one wrong. Dory lives farther from the library than Rena, but closer to the library than Victor. Who lives farther from the library, Rena or Victor? It's totally got to be Rena. So I'm going to get it wrong. Here we go. Oh, crud. All right, now I'm going to just pick them randomly, and eventually I'll get one wrong, right? There we go. Okay, so when you get one wrong, by the way, I missed that last one when I was trying to get it wrong because I didn't write it down. Totally predictable. So when you get one wrong, don't just go over here and click got it. Read through. Because if you've written down your work on paper, you'll be able to see how it compares to how the computer says to get it right. You can scroll down and it will say, hey, this is how you solve the problem. That's why Diane was the younger student and not Sanjay. And then after you've compared your notes to what the computer says to do, then you can say, aha, I've got it. And you can move on to the next one. So once you've gotten up to 80, what I suggest you do is to close the tab altogether and then close your diagnostic report if that's popped up. And then come back to this screen and print it out again. And the reason is it'll take away the skill that you've completed and it may replace it with like the follow-on skill that would work out even better. So when you get to 80, celebrate. You did it. You plugged a gap in your knowledge, or you've extended it a little farther than ever before. Fantastic. Did you make it all the way to 100? No, do not go to 100. It takes too much time. So when you get here, you figured out kind of the loop that we want to be in, and I'll show you what that looks like. You've either gone here and you've worked on a topic in your teacher's, or worked on a skill in your teacher's topic. You reach 80, not 100, 80. And then you go down here and you've closed the tab. Or maybe you just picked your own topic, found the easiest one that you could. You reached a score of 80. You've closed the tab, and sure enough, where does it take you? It goes up here, and you go back, you print out that diagnostic action plan again, and you repeat. As you do so, you'll get more and more progress. All of your scores here will start to move to the right. The numbers will get higher and higher. If you reach the point where you don't have any recommendations, or maybe all the recommendations are for things that you haven't yet been taught by your teacher, then what I recommend you do then is to say, go back into the diagnostic arena and answer like 5 or 10 more problems. One of two things is going to happen. Either your scores will go up because you get those questions right, or you'll find good recommendations when you run into problems that you make mistakes on. Either way, it's a win-win, and you'll continue to make progress in IXL.